Welcome to Outdoor Madness, everyone. Kenny Clark here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Well, we're back to Highway 1. I never get enough of Highway 1, and it's mainly because whenever we come here, there's so much to see, we can never see it all. Something I've always wanted to do is to tour the Piedras, I hope I'm saying this right, the Piedras Blancas Lighthouse. So when you're on Highway 1, I know you guys have seen it before. Here it is right here. You're driving down Highway 1 and you see that lighthouse. Every time I see that lighthouse, I want to go down that road and tour it. But of course you get to that gate and it's blocked off. So just a little ways down the road from the lighthouse is an old motel or hotel. That's where everyone meets before the tour starts. A docent comes over, gives everyone a few instructions, then you follow that docent back to the entrance of the lighthouse. The Piedras Blancas Light Station, or Lighthouse, is located 6 miles north of Hearst Castle in San Simeon, California on Highway 1. So here's the best part, the price. Yes. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to piedrasblancas.org and make a reservation. There's a reservation fee of $1 per ticket, which is non-refundable. The price for adults is $10. Youth age 6 to 17 is $5, and children ages 6 and under are free. So once you get to this point where you're just about ready to park, you're going to meet up with a docent, split up into groups, and that docent is going to give you some instructions, some directions, and a little history lesson on the Piedras Blancas Lighthouse. Our docent today is Mr. Gary O'Neill.
The station and construction of this station started in 1874. Took 10 months to build a lighthouse, put it up, get it erected, get a light started on it. Excuse me. And then there's been a light up there ever since. The station was manned by the Lighthouse Service initially. All lighthouses, light stations in the United States and their territories were manned by the Lighthouse Service until 1939. So once the light was off, maintenance every day, cleaning the light, getting it ready for the next night, kind of like if anybody knows the dairy industry, the cows don't stop giving milk on a day when you want to take a day off, Christmas, everything has to work every day.
As you enter the lighthouse, it's like stepping back into time. You can almost visualize the ships at night as they spot the light, knowing that land is right there, and the lighthouse is also keeping them safe. Now the spiral staircase that goes to the top of the lighthouse was amazing. I wish we could have climbed up that staircase, but due to safety reasons, they had it chained off. The building that we're entering right now is called the Signal Building. Have you ever tried using the lights on your car on a foggy day? Well, they don't do much good, do they? The same goes for the light from a lighthouse. When sailors are out at sea on a foggy day or a foggy night, they can't see that light very good. So they need another way to let them know that they're close to land so they don't run into the rocks. That's where the signal comes in. Here's Gary O'Neill. He's going to explain to us about the signal building and how the signals have changed over the years.
Okay, so the sounds you're going to hear are the engines that used to work in here. Much louder than that. They would run 24 hours a day if it was foggy for that long. First sound was a whistle. 1906, that was the first sound. Changed to a siren. Then it changed to a diaphone. And then a diaphragm. And it would just blast out to sea. Sailors would look at their books and time it, and they would know then what part of the port or what part of the coastline they were going by, even if it was foggy and they couldn't see anything, because the sound was letting them know their location. And it could have been an inviting port, or this is a spot where you don't want to get too close in the fog or bad weather, because the rocks don't move if you run into them. So.
Get that close because it's loud. When you ring it, it's gonna hurt your ears. Ready? Here you go.
You ready? Plug your ears. Plug your ears. You can do it.
Once our history lesson is over, and a few instructions from our docent, we're free to walk the property. One thing I think that's pretty neat is the keepers and their family lived on the grounds. So as you walk the grounds, you're going to see, for instance, a single-story keeper's cottage. Now, back in 1905 when it was built to provide additional housing for the light station personnel. But in 1960, the Coast Guard constructed the cylinder block family quarters and kept the keeper's cottage. And it was moved to Cambria, which is now being used as a vacation rental. So that keeper's cottage was restored and moved to Cambria, and now you can actually rent that out as a vacation rental. Pretty neat, huh? As you enter the property and you're driving to the lighthouse, off to your right, you're going to notice a large white rock. Well, that white rock used to be called Piedra Blanca, which means in Spanish, white rock. So now you see where the lighthouse got its name, Piedras Blancas. Offshore rocks are home for thousands of seals and sea lions, a haven for hundreds of thousands of seabirds, and a habitat for millions of upper rocky intertidal species, and a spectacular interplay of land and sea. The original water tower, completed in 1908, was part of an attempt to provide fresh water for the keepers and their families. Rainwater that fell on a large concrete slab was collected in 2 large tanks near the wharf. From there, it was pumped to the housing area. An elevated water tank was needed to provide water pressure for indoor toilets. So today's replica elevated water tower, which was built in 2013, that's what you're looking at right now, and nearby storage shed, which was built in 2012, were constructed to house public safety communication equipment and to represent history. When you come here, make sure you bring your binoculars, bring your camera, because there are times during the year when you can see whales migrating. And as you walk around, you can see sea otters, and of course, the elephant seals. The Piedras Blancas Light Station or Lighthouse. If you're in the San Simeon area, if you're on Highway 1, make sure you go and take a tour of this lighthouse. It takes you back in history. We really enjoyed it. Most of all, it's not very expensive. I'm Gary Clark for Outdoor Madness. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And you know what? I will see you somewhere in the great outdoors.